from Horton-in-Ribblesdale railway station. I've just hopped off the Leeds-Settle-Carlisle service and I'm beginning today's outing heading towards Ingleborough. We've had some very unusual weather of late. I think yesterday the daytime high was 13 Celsius and there's a fair wind today that's just, whoops, taking the temperature down a little bit lower. But it's still New Year's Eve, tremendously mild. So we're in limestone country. Let's have a little spin around. Somewhere behind me in the clouds is Pen again. I might have to tighten this cap, I think, as I'm going to lose it before this walk's finished. So the aim today, I think, is some kind of tour of Ingleborough. I'm going to take a route going through limestone pavement. I'll take in the Gaping Gill, more on that later, and then head up to Little Ingleborough and onto Ingleborough summit itself, and then seeing how the weather is, seeing how the time's going, maybe add something onto that walk, but nothing too challenging. It's been a strange week since the Singing Ringing Tree walk, a sort of a non-stop parade of mist, rain, just all kinds of unpleasant weather. This is the first day that looks passable. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see how we go. Approaching the Suba limestone pavement and potholes now. They lie just over the top of that hill, but you can see some of the limestone here just breaking through. One of the popular routes to Ingleborough continues straight over the horizon there. That's hopefully the way that I'll be descending in a few hours' time. But you see the signpost. The route for today heads towards Clapham, which means we turn left. Hopefully here we can get a much better look of the limestone pavements that I was speaking about. You can see them behind. The direction where I came avoided most of them, but they're incredibly impressive if I pan around there. To think that a couple of 100 million years ago that sedimentary rock was formed. It was originally the bed of a tropical sea. Incredible. Now what we have here is the entrance to Gaping Gill cave, and that waterfall that you can see plunging over the edge falls around 300 feet, 100 meters in a single drop to the bottom of the cave. That makes it the longest single drop waterfall, certainly in England, I think in Britain too. What do we see? Oh my goodness. There we are. I've seen photographs. I'll maybe try and find something on the net and put them up as an inset. But the photographs of the interior, looking from the bottom of that cave, you could fit St Paul's Cathedral and then some. For a very long time, it was, I think, classed as the largest single chamber cave in Britain. But then it was replaced by a newfound cave in Derbyshire. I think it's called Titan. So Gaping Gill was demoted to number 2 in the hit parade. Top of the pops. So yeah, it's very, very impressive. And what's also interesting is that a couple of times a year the caving clubs organise a secure chair with a cable winch to allow non-cavers to go inside that enormous chamber. It's been suspended for the last couple of years because of COVID, but hopefully it will reappear in 2022. Maybe I'll even buy a ticket to go down there. Maybe. So from the limestone gorge of the Ingleborough cave system, Gaping Gill, I shall start to gain some height, heading towards Ingleborough. Ingleborough being 2,370 feet. I'm not sure what that is in meters, maybe 700 and something. It should be somewhere up there in the clouds. I think that calls for a time warp sequence. really strong now, blowing, I would guess from the west, maybe southwest. There's this little bit of flat as we cross the top of Little Ingleborough, and then there'll be another bit of a pull to gain top of Ingleborough proper. Point over there, Summit Cairn, and the cross shelter, which is fully occupied, of course. Well, unfortunately, the wind on the top of Ingleborough there was significant. I don't think any filming would have worked. Plus there was waves of wind-driven mist and rain blowing across. Bit of a write-off, and that's a shame, because I was going to mention that the cross-shaped wind shelter that we saw looming out of the mist, that was built, I think, in 1953 to mark the coronation. I think it was rebuilt at some point. But I was going to mention one of its features. There's a beautifully inscribed topographic viewfinder, which allows you on a clear day to see the shapes of hills and look them up on the viewfinder, put names to them. Also on the top there are what are believed to be the remains of Iron Age hill forts. Some people have tried to discredit that theory of late, but it's, at one time it seemed to be quite certain that the Brigantes had a settlement up there during Roman times. I've dropped off I've been sheltered really from the worst of the wind by the summit of Ingleborough itself. I think now the wind noise and the wind speed are picking up again because I'm moving away from that summit. The continuation of the ridge from Ingleborough, Syne Fell, and I'm now heading for Park Fell, which has a trig point that sits at around 560 metres. Not a 2000er, not really a summit either, but I thought I'd come here just in case the mist lifted, because on occasion you can get a fantastic view of the Ribblehead Viaduct and Whernside from this point. Have we had a New Year's Eve miracle? Let's have a look. Sadly not. Miracles are just for the movies, I think. So now I'm going to turn around, going back into the teeth of the wind to Syne Fell, almost back to Ingleborough, and then I'll pick up the descent to Horton. More later. Well, unfortunately the weather's really settled in now. Windy, drizzling, the mist is down. I went back to Syne Fell contoured round to what they call Swine Tail at the bottom of Ingleborough, and you more or less climb the first ramp, the limestone ramp on Ingleborough, and turn off for Horton. And that's where I am now, on this broad, but it's not nice underfoot, very uneven. I don't think there'll be anything to see for quite a long time now, but what I'll do, spin around before I put this away and get back to the walking poles. Here we go. Yeah, the weather forecast, the satellite predictions, they showed cloudless skies. Dare I say, I even brought my sunglasses. That cursed it. Well, I'm back to the signpost from this morning, where I turned to Clapham, which means that I have around 2 miles to go now to get back to Horton-in-Ribblesdale. I really can't believe this, the way the weather's panned out. There wasn't a hint of this on any of the forecasts, and wallop. And the wind, the constant drizzle and the mist. I mean, it doesn't spoil the outing for me. It doesn't spoil the value of the walk, but it kind of ruins it in terms of getting footage on this GoPro and piecing together some kind of a video for it. Or at least it's not, let's say that it means the video's not pretty. But I suppose it's an honest reflection, it's an honest account of what the weather's like on December the 31st, 2021, around Ingleborough. So the stunning views and the Iron Age hill forts and all the rest will have to wait for another time. I will put the camera away now and wish everybody a Happy New Year. See you next year. Bye for now.